So Overwatch 2 put out a dev blog the other day, and there's only one aspect of it that I want to comment on. Now, the one thing that I wanted to comment on is about my baby Doomfist. The team is also monitoring Doomfist's performance and play rate compared to other tanks. As we look to Season 2, we think it makes sense to evaluate his overall tanking ability and potentially make improvements to his power block and his meteor strike. In my opinion, the only thing that they should do to Doomfist is revert him back to what he was back as a DPS and just keep him in the tank role. Because most of the tanks already do a ridiculous amount of damage, so why shouldn't Doomfist do that same amount of damage? Or at least, slightly more than what he does now? I really don't know who the people were that were complaining about Doomfist being quote-unquote overpowered back in Overwatch 1. Overwatch 1 Doomfist was pretty balanced by the end of the game. But also, everyone else had stuns at that point, so it was pretty easy to punish a Doomfist if you saw him. But now, in the 5v5 meta with tank Doomfist, he's extremely lacking. And not only tankiness, seeing that, his giant gauntlet that he puts in front of his face doesn't really shield that well, seeing that, he still takes damage. Even though it's reduced by 90%, it's still damage coming through and you can still die from the damage. It's not like a Reinhardt shield or Orisa spin, which both of those negate all projectile damage coming through. I'm like, hell, Orisa can literally just spear him out of his power block. So new Doom still suffers from old Doom problems, which is literally stun stop him, except for now, instead of you having two tanks and then you're just another DPS fighting in the back lines and just, being an assassin like what Doomfist was in Overwatch 1, you're now the person that has to frontline with your body and you have zero way to negate damage. But I have a few suggestions that would actually help out Doomfist if they really have to keep Doomfist the way he is. First off, allow his power block to give him actual shields, either automatically whenever he presses it, or his shields increase with the amount of damage he reduces. Then on top of that, his rocket punch very much needs a buff. I swear to God, a Klansman might as well have balanced this man. He does no damage even with an empowered fist. The max amount of damage he can do with an empowered fist is 80. Yes, 80 damage. That's not even enough damage for a Tracer to even consider a recall or heals. Something else they should do is allow his seismic slam to be empowered by his power block. So then you have more than one way of actually engaging with damage instead of just, charging up your fist right in front of the people that are shooting at you. But to balance it out, obviously you're gonna have to just make it to where either you're gonna use a rocket punch or a slam. You can't have both empowered at the same time. Another thing, let his power block be like a 3-second or 2-second cooldown. An 8-second cooldown for a person that's supposed to be a main tank so that they can block damage is absolutely ridiculous. Imagine D.Va's defense matrix being on an 8-second cooldown. And then the bread, the butter of his whole entire kit, his meteor strike. The most pathetic ultimate in Overwatch 2. Unless you hit someone directly on the head, which you're not gonna do, you're gonna be doing no damage. At this point, his meteor strike is better off used as a get out of jail free card instead of, a devastating ultimate ability that takes a long time to charge up. Nope, now it's only good to just get out of sticky situations. It's basically like his seismic slam, except for it's on like a 2 to 3 minute cooldown. But those are just some of my suggestions on how to make the character actually, fun again. And also somewhat viable in comp, because in role queue, he's pretty much not viable at all. At least in open queue, you can, use him as a DPS. Even though it's a very low DPS, you can use Doomfist as a DPS in open queue. But role queue, if someone locked in Doomfist, I would be offended, like, brother, what did I do? Why are you gonna punish me like this? But boys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and my suggestions on what they should do with Doomfist. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video, and here's some more content for your guys' faces.